Good evening, everyone. Another edition of Systemic Caseism. Let's get into it today. And all over the weekend, there were riots pretty much everywhere in Los Angeles. They've escalated. I don't know what they're rioting for. I guess they want Mexico to take over California. Rioters, if you want people to be sympathetic to your cause, maybe fly the US flag and not the Mexican flag. Maybe don't burn the United States flag. It's really hard to make a case for yourself being in the country when you're burning down the flag of the country that you want to live in. All right. If you want to live in Mexico, like it's right there. Jump back over the border. I'm just sick to death of people that hate this country but advocate for other people to come live here because it's the best country in the world. You got to pick one. You got to pick one. All right. And if you come here, you got to learn our language to live. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's perfectly reasonable. All right. I know a little bit of Spanish, un poquito, but not enough to know if you're talking shit. So I think if you want to come to the United States, do it the right way. Don't jump the border. And if you're out there in Los Angeles protesting and people start throwing bricks, that's when you want to get out of there because you're not part of a protest anymore. You're part of a riot. And you will get caught up in that mob mentality and you will do dumb shit. I don't know. I don't know at what point they flip, but you can usually feel it in the air. So my advice for anybody out there is when there's tear gas going off, leave. Just leave because it's not going to get better. And the more you escalate it, the more they're going to escalate it. And the more they escalate it, the more you're going to escalate it. And I can tell you one thing, all the weapons are on the side of the government, folks. That's always the way that it is. I think it's stupid. I personally don't see any reason to advocate for people to come and invade your country illegally. Uh, but apparently, a lot of people do. Apparently, a lot of people like when corporations are able to hire low waged illegal aliens to take jobs away from American people, that they will do, by the way. All these elitist fucks saying that nobody will do these jobs or no one wants to do them, that's a bunch of horse shit, all right? Maybe these people don't that are sitting at news desks making millions a year, but I've worked with a bunch of American citizens that were nurses' aides, okay? A lot of jobs from women. And to be honest with you, if I was ever in a nursing home, yeah, I would want my nurse's aide to be from the country that I live in. That's reasonable. That's reasonable. So there's going to be a lot of conflicting information coming from news sources, depending on what you watch. So there's a guy that I watch on YouTube, a dude named Nick Shirley. He's on the ground. He's filming. As far as I can tell, he's just sort of an observationist. So let's get into it. Let's see what's transpiring in Los Angeles. The media is either going to tell you the world is ending or they're completely peaceful. All right, that's what you're going to get. You're watching Fox, the world is ending, America's going to collapse. Oh my God, we need to send in the military right away. You're watching CNN. It's just people that are minding their own business and stormtroopers show up and they're getting attacked, which is a freaking lie, by the way. I've seen these videos on Twitter of people dropping cinder blocks on cop cars. Not a good look. You know, you're not defending yourself when you're on the overpass dropping the the cinder blocks down. Like there doesn't seem to be a justification for that. Let's get into it, guys.
Holy cow, they're throwing bricks at the police.
This is our city, and this was Mexico.
It ain't Mexico anymore, sweetheart. It's California. And you need Ozempic. Badly. You're in California. You could probably get it for free on taxpayer dollars, you blob.
Can't kick us out of the land that was ours.
It was yours. You know, I'm kind of sick of this crap. America wasn't stolen. America was won in a war. It was won in a war and it was won through treaties. All right? This isn't stolen land. It was conquered. And guess what? It's not unique. Every fucking square inch of land everywhere in the world has been conquered at some point or another. And I can tell you who wasn't doing the conquering is tons of fun over here. She wasn't conquering anything except that plate at the dinner table.
Intersections have been taken over.
Does this look peaceful to you? Because that's what the media is saying, that these are peaceful. These aren't out of hand. or that this is just them defending themselves. This looks like a third world country, I'm not going to lie. Like, this is what you'd expect to see in, like, Haiti or France.
Local and state officials are not happy with what's going on with the federal government. The footage you're about to see is absolutely insane. The police are coming through right now. Speak no more and get into the video. Everyone's out here protesting right now. ISIS came through here down in LA. The streets are erupting here. Let's see what's going on.
Every time I see one of these things, I think about how pissed off I would be because it would take me longer to get home. I think of the traffic. Won't someone think of the traffic? It already sucks there in Los Angeles. Now you got this shit to put up with? Dude, you're not winning anybody by causing traffic. You're not winning hearts and minds.
The National Guard has been deployed out here into the streets of LA. Thousands of protesters are here on the streets right now. Right here on this federal building, you have words like F ICE, revolution starting here. Here for my family.
Oh, these fucking people and the revolution. I got a plan, and that's called let's give California back to Mexico. You guys want it? Great. It could be under the control of the cartels. I don't need California. I have no use for California. Give it back. Sure, just give it back. All right? Let's see how it goes. Because from what I can tell, all these people that are here illegally that are waving Mexican flags aren't in Mexico. I don't give a shit what you say about it. It used to be Mexico and this used to be ours. Shut up. Shut up. It isn't. And if it is, then it doesn't make any sense why you're not in the other Mexico. Oh, you're here because it's better. It's better. It's absolutely better, or you wouldn't be here. These ungrateful people. That's the thing about these illegal aliens. They're just ungrateful. And I'm not saying all, but these ones certainly.
All sorts of stuff. Right here you have the National Guard. They've come through. You have troops, about 300 in different directions. Trump sent in about 2,000 people. There's groups of 300 sent around the city right here. And this one is at the side of the federal building here at one of the ICE detention centers here in LA. What's your message to the National Guard here today?
The National Guard.
And why do you think they got sent out here today?
They got sent because we don't have a president that can lead.
What fears you most about Donald Trump and the ICE raids coming through here in Los Angeles?
I don't fear that motherfucker. Have you seen our community? I don't feel that motherfucker.
There's none of fear. Fuck Donald Trump. Homeboy on a motherfucking real fuck that piece of shit.
What's the water for?
Diffuse tear gas. If you need it. Yeah. If you throw a canister in one of these, it should diffuse it enough, or at least stop the chemical reaction.
And what makes you want to come out here with the Honduras flag out here?
I mean, these are my roots right here, you know? This is where my family came from.
Okay, and that's fine. But, maybe have a little bit of appreciation for the country that's taking you in. You ain't there now. Why? Why? Just why? I have family that came from Poland. I have family that came from Israel. I'm not there. You know why? Because America's better. And I'm not flying their flags. You know why? Because America's better. And because I live here. And I'm sick of this shit. Like, it doesn't matter who the president is. The United States is the best country in the world. It's the best country in the world. And people like this, people that want to undermine it and say, fuck the U.S., let's take it over. You know what you're going to do? You're going to turn it into that third world shithole you came from. That's true. That's just the truth. I don't care if it's uncomfortable or you don't like it. I don't like it either. I'd prefer it wasn't that way, but it is that way.
I'm a first gen.
A lot of people wonder on social media, why are people coming out here with other nationalities' flags? If they don't like America, why don't they go back to
I love America and what it represents. The idea of America to our people is a better future and an opportunity to have a job and create something that in our homes we don't have.
Why don't you have it in your homes? And why aren't you making your country great again?
So we love America. We want to be here. We want to contribute.
And you know what? That's good. I recant what I said about this individual. You should love America. Everybody should love America, dude. This is where we live. It looks like This is probably not one of the people that's out there destroying things. Good for him. You know, you do have to differentiate between protesters and rioters. And what I'll say to this gentleman is, if you're here legally, that's just fine. We're for legal immigration. But when you hop the fucking border and you just want a bunch of free stuff or you're trafficking human beings, sorry, just not for that. I don't give a shit what sob story that you've got when you've come here illegally. You know why? Because borders actually make a country, and without borders, you don't have a country. We have a very generous immigration policy in this country. And you might want to ask yourself, why does everybody want to come here if this is the biggest piece of shit in the world?
You know, and I agree. The people that have committed crimes and, you know, like an actual crime, you know, murder, something like that.
Reasonable human being that's out there. I don't know why he's out there, but this sounds like a reasonable, rational person. Here's the issue. When it turns into a riot and a mob forms, that rationality goes out the door, where a mob mentality forms, and even the most rational person can get caught up in the frenzy of it all. And that's what I don't want to see happen. I don't like Los Angeles, but I don't want to see it burn either.
I can agree with that. You know, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, no, keep everybody here.
Yeah.
But the people who are here, hardworking people.
Right now, do you think it's right for them to go after the most dangerous people like they say they're doing?
I mean, I don't see nobody here has attacked them. And they initiated all of this. We're peacefully protesting. They're the ones that come out with riot shields. They come out with billy clubs and all kinds of shit. I don't know who's the aggressor here, but it ain't us.
I can't.
Well, they got to defend themselves. Like, you can't expect the police to show up there without anything. And anytime there's a large crowd of people, that shit can break out. That's why there's the cops there. And when it gets out of hand, like, it doesn't matter who starts it. When it gets out of hand, it gets out of hand. And that's where you got to bounce. And if you don't bounce, then you're going to get arrested. Or you're going to get, you're going to get injured. It's just ridiculous. There's no need for it.
Coward! Get that shit in my fucking face!
Okay. That guy's yelling at the ICE officials for being a coward for wearing a mask. Meanwhile, he also has a mask on. What's your...
Boom. Yeah, the hypocrisy.
Something's about to break out real soon. If these people keep taunting the police...
See, he knows. There's a feeling you get in the air when that peaceful protest starts to turn. You all know if you've been to one, it starts to turn and the atmosphere, like, it changes. And all of a sudden, it's not so much kumbaya, it's yippee-ki-yay. And it's on. And that mob mentality, man, that will do a lot of damage. And it looks like it has. And it looks like it's going to continue to. You know, our politicians are such pieces of shit that they egg this stuff on.
Officers with all these other flags, all these other words they're saying to these police officers and National Guard, something's about to happen.
You guys suck! Christy Lewis! You guys suck! Donald Trump! Fuck you!
I can tell you're very upset.
Of course we are. Yeah. We feel some burning in the eyes right now upon arrival here. Everybody be prepared. We still fight for the legalization of all and occupy.
This is like a professional activist that's probably getting paid. At a lot of these events, they have people that they pay. They pay people to go to these events to turn them into riots and gaslight you and tell you they're not riots.
Territories. This was indigenous land.
This ain't indigenous land anymore, sweetheart. It was conquered by America. You know, this indigenous crap needs to stop because you know what? I can tell you in England right now, where the English are the indigenous people, nobody gives a shit that they're being invaded by Islam. No one gives a shit. You don't hear them talk about the indigenous English. You know why? Because the English won. Because the English defended England and kept it England. But they're being conquered right now, and they can't say shit about it or they'll go to jail. Be glad you got your First Amendment rights.
Mexico, this is our fucking turf. F these motherfuckers. Free them up!
Why aren't you in Mexico then? I don't understand this argument. Oh, this is Mexico. No, it isn't. It's the United States. And if Mexico's so great, why aren't you there? The lack of appreciation for the United States is the most annoying fucking thing in the world from people that are on benefits that my tax dollars got to go to. I don't want to support these people. They hate it here. Well, they love it here, but they want to destroy it. You want to turn this into Mexico? There's a reason you're not living in Mexico.
Stolen people on stolen land. Black people were stolen.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go with the black people again. This has nothing to do with black people. Black people, I'd stay out of this if I was you. They're putting them into your neighborhoods.
And it was taken from the indigenous. Stolen
It wasn't taken from the indigenous, it was one.
people on stolen land.
What's your message to ICE and to the federal government today?
Just the message, just straight up, is just this government is fucking corrupt as. People need to fucking start realizing that shit and fucking